There is the news, English viewers. Welcome to this new episode of special interviews, and this time with a Yazidi activist, the president of Voice of Yazidis, and also a member of the Obama Foundation, Europe leader, Farhad Shamo. Welcome, Mr. Farhad.
Thank you, Sultan. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. So in this interview, we would like to shine the light on the Yazidi cause. So, Mr. Farhad, what happened to the Yazidi cause after 8 years of the genocide and displacement?
Well, thank you for the big question, Sultan. Hello to you and the staff of Yazidi News. I hope you're doing well. I really encourage your work and very appreciative what you're doing. While asking about Yazidi cause and in this big word of Yazidi cause, it directly comes to my mind what side or what corner of this cause. We have many files, I can't call it files, that are pending, and unfortunately since the beginning of the 2014 genocide, that I believe we both of us have experienced it and survived it gladly. Are we speaking about the justice side of the cause? Are we speaking about the displacement and the migration abroad, internal displaced people who have been over 8 years living in a tent which is unfit for human being? Or we are speaking about the security and the conflict which are ongoing on our region, Shingal. We are speaking about national and international conflict or territorial conflicts on Sinjar region. So what happened, I can say that there have been a tremendous effort from many Ezidi organizations, many Ezidi advocates or defenders, especially the female brave Ezidi women who have been raising their voice, testifying before international forums, communities, parliaments, everywhere they have been speaking up against these inhuman and heinous crimes that happened specifically to those brave women and also to Yazidi community in general, but also to other minorities and Iraqi population. What happened? I think we have managed to reach the voice and what happened to Yazidi. We have managed to bring some attention, international attention. We have managed to convince many organizations, international NGO, like internal governmental or governmental organization or internal non-governmental organization, international non-governmental, and other actors have been providing supports. But the big question remains critical: does all these supports and this attention meet what Yazidi needs today and since the beginning of the genocide? What happened, it's a lot, but what needs to be done remain much more bigger than what have been put as effort from us Ezidis and also from other supporters and those who are standing in solidarity with us, either in Iraq or outside Iraq.
Okay. So, as a president of International Yazidi Organization, what have the international organization done for the Yazidi community so far?
Well, this is a very interesting question, because I believe that what have been done so far, it's thanks to the effort of international organization. While speaking international organization, we should include, and on the top of this international organization, we are speaking about United Nations agencies, such as UNHCR, IOM, but also other organizations that have been other teams that have been built up, such as UNITAD. So I believe that international organizations have contributed very meaningfully and have attempted a lot to to work on standing in the face of what Yazidi community is facing and try to find a suitable solutions for. But I think here the question of, we have also Ezidi international organizations such as Nadia's Initiative, Yazda, Airbridge Iraq, Free Yazidi Foundation, and others. They have also been working, and I think their role have been very different. And those international organizations such as IOM, also USI, the US Development Agency, have been working closely on the ground on different matters. I remember when we escaped and we went through Syria to Turkey and then to Iraq, and we left in a place where no internal displaced camp have been built, but we directly faced UNHCR was there, and there were tents with the logo of UNHCR to provide this, providing relief on the very early stage of the beginning of the genocide. The role of international organization is very appreciated. But again, I don't feel that what have been provided and what is already there and the budget or the capability of this international organization were and still, I feel they are not enough to stand against what Yazidi community needs that time. Given the fact of international organization, many international organizations such as IOM, UNHCR, they have actually had a very big role of relocation, migration to Canada, to Australia, to Germany, to France. They have provided temporary or asylum or refugee status to thousands of Yazidi families. But I'm definitely, because it's the sector of my work, I'm definitely very critical against different of the, mostly all of these programs, because the level of following up, I do not undermine how it's great to provide international protection and refugee right, asylum right to thousands of Yazidi family. But I do critically stand with raising the voice of the following up with these survivors and victims, because they need follow up, they need better integration effort, they need psychological support, they need family reunification. That is a very big challenge today Yazidi community face. And this international organization, I think one of the recommendation from an Yazidi survivor, I can say, or an Yazidi activist or defender, it will be big thank you, what have you been doing, but please follow up. That is the critical point of the work of international relation in the field of asylum, let's say.
Okay, Mr. Farhad, another question. How do you see the role of the international organizations in achieving justice for the Yazidi community?
You know, I could start my answer for you saying that there will be no peace without justice. There will be no stability without justice. There will be no rehabilitation, reconciliation without justice. There will be no healing from trauma without justice. Our dear friend Dr. Kizilhan once participated in one of our campaign for the genocide commemoration, and he stated that after genocide, justice is part of healing from trauma. And this is I totally agree on this, and I support. So what is the issue here? Today, Iraqi state, which the genocide started on its territory in Shingal, in Syria border, is facing expected thousands of participations of individuals or actors in this genocide. And simply, there is no justice system of Iraq who could persecute or bring all this before justice. The justice system of Iraq was designed of judging individual level, not thousands people together. So for this point, and the other side of justice, like how we understand justice, of course, international law, state justice, maybe somehow clearly. There is no social justice in our region in Iraq. What I mean here with social justice, Yazidi community understand this very well. Those who have been clearly, proudly ISIS or involved with in Daesh system, or have been part of committing crimes against Ezidis, crimes of genocide, crimes against humanity, and different crimes. There have not been any significant step of holding them accountable. This is one. So social justice did not exist, and of course it's responsible of Iraq as a top, but also responsible of international community, because Daesh was an international organization, and very simply, I'm based in France. There was estimated over 700 French persons have joined Daesh. So what have France done for bringing these people to court and take them accountable and put them before responsibility of committing crimes against Yazidi? We are sure that many of these fighters have actually had, I'm sad to say this kind of term, but Yazidi slaves, that's how they call. And that is the truth. And same with German fighters, Canadian fighters, with other fighters, and also thousands and thousands of fighters from MENA region or Middle East, North African country, like a very big number from these countries. This is, while I'm saying France, Germany, Canada, while I'm saying Middle East, North Africa, my friend Sultan, this is international community.
Yes.
This is how they are represented in United Nations, the biggest international organization, which is represent international community. Gladly, we have the decision and the resolution of Security Council on formation and establishment of UNITA. And it's been, this is of course thanks to an initiative from UK. This initiative have started, and they now expanded their work for a couple, I think more 2 years now, and there is big support. But as Yazidi, let's ask ourselves in terms of justice. 8 years after genocide, we are still not able to, this Iraq system and also international community, we're still not able to exhume the majority of mass graves on Sinjar land, which include thousands of bodies of our beloved relatives, brothers, sisters, and thousands of Yazidi. So we are still not able, the international community have failed to provide, after 8 years of genocide, to provide a dignified burial as a very simple human right, a dignified burial. And this is a threat of Yazidi cause in the term of documentation and what ICE have done, because I'm not sure, of course, thankfully there is specified Yazidi organization who have putting a lot of effort on documentation and protection of this. I remember Yazidi organization for documentation, our very good friend Khairi they were going for, like, as people to protect. Where is international community on protecting such evidence of genocide crime? So to conclude my answer about justice part for you, I think there is an urgent need of a new law in Iraq which criminalizes genocide crime and genocide against humanity, because such law doesn't exist so far in Iraq. And how can Iraq handle a genocide case without having a law specified on genocide? So this is so that will allow Iraq to hire. So it's need a lot of budget, a financial capacity to hire judges, staff, a lot of people to work specifically for those who have participated and committed genocide. But also, there should be a tremendous big effort on other actors of genocide, such as economical actors, those who provided support to Daesh, those who helped Daesh even directly or indirectly. Here we are speaking about state actors, how Daesh was economically supported. You remember I was in 2016 in Sinjar, and there was a fighting between Ezidi, was a middle, when we were trapped in the mountain, I don't remember exactly, it was 2015, I think, yeah. When Daesh attacked Sinjar, near to Sharfadin Shrine, Bakira, this region, and one day, actually, Yazidi fighters have managed to destroy a 4x4 car, Toyota. In the same year, the model of the car was the same year. That means the Japanese company have deported a car in the same year, and the car have arrived in the hand of Daesh. And by that car of the same year deported car reached to Sinjar Mountain. Who is responsible of providing such cars to Daesh? So this is the effort that need to be taken, of course. I mean, this is my opinion and understanding. And of course, some of them are just truth and the reality. So there will be no justice without peace. I mean, there will be no peace without justice, and the social justice, transitional justice, and holding the account, those who perpetrated genocide accountable should be an local and international efforts, and it can never happen without a close and a meaningful effort with Yazidi victims and survivors, because we are the witness and we are the one who seeking justice. And this justice, we are fighting on behalf of Iraq and international community. We help countries like France to identify thousands of their criminal people. We help Canada, we help Germany, we help international community. Yazidi people are today witness against thousands of criminal people who are free all around the world, who are dangerous on the life of people of Sinjar, people of The Hague, people of Dubai, people of New York, people of Paris. So this is the responsibility that Yazidi community take, an international community, and the concerned actors, specifically in justice speaking, they should understand how important the role of Yazidi survivors and victims to testify and to find an end and stop all these dangerous people who are actually a temporary bomb everywhere in this world.
Okay, thanks for this long, informative answer. So
I am sorry, just in the justice part, I always
Yes.
need to jump in. Yeah, sorry.
okay,
Yeah, it was
thank
long.
you.
Yeah.
There is another question. So, as it's known that most of the Sinjar areas have damaged and they haven't been reconstructed as the people wanted. So, is there any plan from the international community for the reconstruction of Sinjar?
This is a very, very important question. Genocide have stages. When genocide happened after post-genocide, I could not convince myself so far to say post-genocide, because for me as an Yazidi, I believe we are still in an ongoing genocide, unfortunately. This is my understanding, and this is how I can state it. But yes, of course, as I mentioned from the beginning, the effort of USAID, IOM, countries like France, different local and international organizations have putting effort on jumping before justice, before social justice, before transitional justice, before ending conflict, to the step of reconstruction. And some of them I also see in their media and reports, press release, they speak about the reconciliation. This is a big ambiguity for me, and I feel like do we really understand when the reconstruction will start? Like, I think supporting Yazidi community in a healing from trauma of post-genocide and ending the local and territorial or international conflict, and like unofficial armed groups who are functioning on the Sinjar area. So the role of international organizations and international community of states are a bit like they're opposite to each other sometimes. If you come ask, for example, the role of an organization, an armed group that exists now in Sinjar, here in Europe, in Western world, they consider them terrorists, a terrorist organization, okay, such as Daesh. Other are the same terrorist organization, and they exist in Sinjar. And they say in their media that it's safe, and everything is okay. And here is my question as an Ezidi defender. How can we say a place under control of a terrorist organization is safe? Can we just understand this dilemma between the fact, the reality, and the willingness of pretending to support? So I think as an Ezidi, we do not have any diplomatic agency, we do not have any representation. We have only, thanks to some defenders, some like our sister Nadia Murad, or Ezidi organization such as Yazda and other. I don't want to mention all of them. I'm totally appreciative. So we have a very weak lobby, diplomatic and international relation, who's working on international relations of Ezidi, because it's very weak, and we are a very limited number. Therefore, we of course have been always appreciative and thankful to anything, and this is also an Ezidi behavior, as our philosophy of life. Like, we, even if we give something, and we always thankful to what have been done for us. But yes, the plan is not sustained. The plan of international community to rebuild Sinjar is not a sustainable plan. The promises have not been applied on the ground. Sinjar was voted a few years ago as a distracted, completely city on Iraqi parliament, and there have not been budget and procedure and concerned agencies to start the rebuilding. And what has been stopping all this reconstruction or rebuilding, we can say, is definitely the unknown fate of Shingal, with the reason of security. So sadly, that we see, if some little project, if a school have been built, or if a road have been fixed, it's been like shown that a great thing that they have done to Shingal, and this is just very basically the right of a person to live, have a good road, have an education system, so these are our basic rights, my friend. But they have delivered a message that they are very good people who are extra doing this for us. So we are still in a struggle of receiving our basic right, and we still in confusion what is our rights and what's our demands. So now they make our right as our only demands. Yeah.
Okay, thank you again.
You're welcome.
So, as known that thousands of Yazidis are yet displaced and thousands are refugees, and still thousands are continuously immigrating to various countries. So, in your opinion, do you think that immigration is a good solution for the Yazidis?
You know, before I give my opinion about this very, very good question, thank you for that. We need to understand that the right to asylum is a human right. If you want to ask asylum, it's basically your right. And anyone put a trap or a barrier before you, he is violating your right. Okay? Asylum is our right. And these have been agreed by international community after the World War II, in the first time in the international, in the Declaration of Human Rights in United Nations. And then we had, of course, the Refugee Convention or the Geneva Convention. So these have been clear. It is our right. Why this happened? Because the World War II happened and millions of people needed protection in other geographical area. That's why many countries have come together and to declare this and to make conventions on this and agreements and then specific protocols on this. But unfortunately today it's very political. Today the political interests are crossing and integrating to violate the rights of asylum. I cannot say it's not a solution. What can I tell to a Ezidi young man who has lost his brothers, sisters, his house, everything, and the person who committed such act on him is free in Iraq and maybe is living in a very comfortable place in a big city of Iraq, and he is living in a tent when he want to ask asylum, and even so it's basically his right. This is one. The second thing, my friend, if there is no solution, I mean, asylum can be also temporary relocation. I'm very sure if Iraq becomes stable and Sinjar gets safe and there is some guarantee of security and protection and peace, many people will return back, and I am one of them. We will return back. But today, if I cannot provide a dignified life, a safe and basic service life to people, I should not tell the solution. When they come, they get visa for asylum in a country like France, Canada, Australia, Germany. They get medical support, they get sometimes psychological support, they get access to education, they learn, they have new opportunity, and they are safe and sound in many cases. Of course, not everywhere. Even here in Europe, there is security challenge. There is security challenge that's facing Ezidi community, and this is very, very, very crucial, very critical also. But in general, it's okay. It's better than Iraq. So I do not support anyone. I do not encourage anyone to go and leave Iraq. Excuse me. I do not encourage anyone to stop anyone to leave Iraq also. So we should leave these humans to decide and to claim their right or to not. Today, if you see the Ezidi community in Europe, in many cases, you will feel proud of them. There is students have integrated in educational system. There is people who started their own businesses. There is people who learned language. There is people who have integrated in big international organization. In Netherlands, there was one of the one of the students become a top student, and Ezidi survivor become a top student in Netherlands. We have others and others and others in US. You hear, so we have cases like in the stable countries and democratic communities such as European Union. There is a lot of opportunities, and if an Yazidi person or a family want to have a right of asylum, we should definitely support it. And the other very important point, we have thousands of families are separated due to, as I mentioned before, due to the different programs of rehabilitation for survivors. They brought the mom, they left the child in the camp. They brought the brother, they left the other brother or other sister in the camp. So there is a separation of Yazidi family. And being together or close to each other, it's very important for the Yazidi community. That is also an issue. Now, I give you one little example in France. During one of our visits with the Voice of Ezidis to the field visit to the Yazidi survivors, in France, we visited 43 families in like, I think 10 days in different regions, in the region of Rhône-Alpes and the region of Tarn, different region. Those 43 families have asked to bring their family members. 114 family. Look, it's more than double what they want to bring. So, and many of them were mothers and children. A child is married in a camp living in Khanke or Sharia or Qadia, and the mother is here. So even the French state have actually promised it, and the former Minister of Interior, Mr. Castaner, have actually confirmed to us that those mothers will be able to bring their close relatives. But now, unfortunately, I don't see any plan from the French state or from any Yazidi or international organization to address this issue of family reunification. And family reunification is also a human right.
Okay.
We should support it. Thank you.
Thank you. I will ask you the last question. So what do you think need to be done first for the Yazidis to be recovered?
Well, I think all your questions were important, and in each single question we have mentioned a very crucial and important topic or a file of Yazidi cause. I believe that all of them are important, need to be done. But of course, if we prioritize what should be first, I think there should be a tremendous effort of demanding the international community of rescuing the remaining Yazidi in captivity. We have over thousands, like people are still in captivity, and this is very sad. Excuse me. I think also, as I mentioned, there should be an urgent need of establishment of new law in Iraq that criminalize the genocide and crimes against humanity. So for justice side, Iraq and international community should adapt. International community is definitely adapted to and have dealt with many cases of genocide, such as Rwanda, such as Holocaust, such as Armenian genocide was a little bit far in a recent history, but other genocide cases have happened and international community have dealt with. But Iraqi case and Yazidi genocide case is different. Iraq not part of many international community principle that can provide Yazidi the right of having. So far we didn't have right of international court to be open or international trials to be open, and this is what UNITAD should try to do. But Iraq do not legally, according to international law, is still not eligible to do that because it's not part of Rome Statute. So therefore there should be an urgent need of a new Iraqi system to address the issue of Yazidi and to face the injustice that faced Yazidi. The second other thing, I think it's very unfortunate and it's very tragic to leave Yazidi genocide survivor after such trauma and inhuman crimes and all failure of everyone, failure of international and local community to protect this community, to leave them in camp, in tents for 8 years. What needs to be done is to end the conflict in Sinjar. It's really not normal. It's really not normal that the Sinjar administration, which is a conflict between central and regional government of Kurdistan, is a conflict between of them. It's been 7 years that the Sinjar mayor cannot work and function in Sinjar. 8 years actually. So such issues, what need to be done that those international, those local actors, central government and Kurdistan region should actually simply stop on making fun of it. If you ask them, of course, every one of them will say, we are here to do our best for Yazidi. But no one of them give up their ego and interest of finding solution for Yazidi, for Sinjar administration, for example. So if there is no administration, it's hard that people get back because there is a lot of legal things need to be done, documents, you know this. The second thing, ending conflict and also ending finally the camps and to return people even back or find them a solution to go abroad. So staying in the camp is not a solution. And I'm really worried that we will remain like Syrian who have stayed even before us, and camps have become their life. To conclude, it was very sad to listen to an Ezidi child. There was, I think, a journalist asking him, "Where are you from?" And he said, "I'm from camp." So he born in camp and he grew up in camp. And this need to be in, and this generation of estimated over 70,000 childs born in camps in displacement should be finally granted that, hey, you belong to a land, it is your homeland, you are an indigenous people of the ancient civilizations of Iraq, you are the local community of Mesopotamia, you are Ezidi community, this is your land. This is, or telling this child, camp is not suitable for your life. We therefore find you a solution in any other country. Iraq is not safe for you. So I think this needs to be done for Ezidi. Thank you very much, Sultan, and I'm sorry for giving you long answers because your questions were very important.
Okay, Farhad Shamo, a Yazidi activist, the president of Voice of Yazidis Organization, and also a member of Obama Foundation Europe leader. Thanks a lot for being with us.
It was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thanks so much.